Alright guys, so this is my first deck profile, and I'm going to be doing a zombie deck with a new Unizombie support card, and we're going to get into that right now. So first off, we have 3 Unizombie, which is obviously the new support card that came out in the Secrets of Eternity box set. And for those of you who don't know, this is it's a tuner, and its effect is basically you can change a monster's level on the field and increase it by 1, and if you do that you can either discard a card or send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard, and only zombie monsters can attack the turn you activate that effect. Also, it's a tuner, so that helps a lot. And what's great about this card is it gives you so many options. You can synchro with it. You can overlay by changing it to a level 4 because it's a level 3 right now, and you can send Mizuki to grave, or you can, if you have a Mali in your hand, you can pitch the dead Mali and get your synchro plays going. And then next we have the 3 Mizukis. So obviously, you know, that's self-explanatory for a zombie deck, is, you know, you need the Mizukis to get all those special summons. And another staple is Malicious. 3 Malicious. Obviously, again, if you know anything about zombies, it's that you need Malicious as another staple. And then, you know, part of the whole combo is Plague Spreader, and I only have Plague Spreader at 1 because honestly, with the new tuner support, you know, you have enough tuners with Unizombie, and Plague Spreader, you don't need it at 2. I've never had a duel where I've needed another Plague Spreader, because you can make level 7 or level 8 synchro plays with Unizombie and another level 4. So yeah. And then I have 2 Zombie Master. Zombie Master is great because it lets you pitch a card. So let's say you have a Mizuki, a Mali, or a Plague Spreader, and you can special summon another zombie monster from your graveyard. And I say 2 Zombie Master is good enough for this deck, because if you run 3, it starts to get a little cloggy, and you don't want that. And then also we have Goblin Zombie, and Goblin Zombie's effect is when it's sent to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, you can search out a zombie monster with 1200 or less defense from your deck to your hand, which is basically any of the zombie type monsters in this deck. And the good thing about Goblin Zombie is you can do it with Unizombie because it's a tuner, because Unizombie's a tuner, and if you do a level 8 synchro play with this, you get the search afterward, because Goblin Zombie is being sent from the field to the graveyard. And then also we have Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk, it just speeds up the deck, and we're in this deck. I'm running mostly spells, so usually you'll have a spell that you can discard for a Summoner Monk. And I'm also running Dark Grepher and Armageddon Knight, because the plays you can do off of a Summoner Monk, and then getting a Dark Grepher if you have a Mali or a Plague Spreader in your hand, it's just ridiculous. You get the Plague Spreader and the Malicious in the graveyard, and then you can XYZ into Lavolvo Chain, and then get the Mizuki, and then you're set for your 2 level 8 synchros. But yes, I mean, some people don't run this anymore with the new Unizombie support, but I don't know. I found that having these like really helps get your malicious into the grave. And you know, if it's in your hands, that definitely does not help much unless you have something to pitch it. And you know, these guys help get the necessary cards in your graveyard. And the last two monsters I have for this deck are two Maxi. Maxi I found is actually really great in this deck, especially with the meta right now. With like Burning Abyss, just special summons continuously, and I mean, they can go first turn, and right off the bat you can Maxi, and then they could either decide if they want to take the Maxi challenge and go off, or just, you know, just not go off as they could, and not let you get those draws. But either way, it helps. And usually they do take the Maxi challenge, and you get a ton of cards, so that increases your chances of actually winning. Especially since this is a lower tier deck. I mean, it's not. It's playable, but it's, you know, it's not in the meta. It's just a rogue deck, so you definitely need that draw power. And then yeah, that's it for the monsters. And now we'll move on to the spells. So right now I'm just gonna start with the one-ofs. I got a Book of Moon because it's just, you know, it's Book of Moon. It's really good right now. And Snatch Steal, of course. Snatch Steal is just great. You get a free monster. You know, Snatch Steal wins games. But then Burial from a Different Dimension, self-explanatory. Send your Mizukis back to the graveyard, or Plague Spreader if you must. Regeki, just white field. And then Allure of Darkness, more draw power. You're running a lot of dark monsters, so, you know, obviously if you weren't already running that in your zombies, then you should definitely put that in. And then Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, obviously you want stuff in your graveyard in this zombie deck, so that's self-explanatory. Soul Charge, you know, most decks run Soul Charge at 1 unless they don't use their graveyard or don't have monsters in their graveyard. But yeah, Soul Charge. And then that's it for the one-ofs. And now we have two Book of Moons, or Book of Life. Book of Life is really good because not only do you get to special summon a monster, but you get to banish a monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is really great with all the decks that run off their graveyard, like Burning Abyss or Shed All. So that's definitely a plus. And the only thing I don't like about Book of Life is the fact that you have to have a monster in your opponent's graveyard to actually use it. So, you know, if you get it like early game and your opponent really doesn't have any monsters in their graveyard, then that could be a problem because it's just dead in your hand. But like mid game, late game, it could actually really help because you need that extra monster to make an XYZ play or synchro play, and you just have no other way of getting it out but to use that Book of Life, and it could really help you out and save you when your back's against the wall. And then we have two Mass Change 2s, and obviously this is it's basically just for Dark Law. There's plenty of dark monsters to use in this deck, and also a good combo with this card would be like maybe you know, Goblin Zombie, because you still get the search when you send it to the graveyard to summon Dark Law, and then on top of that, if you have a Mizuki or a Malicious or a Plague Spreader in your hand, you can discard that and you know, start using your graveyards to do more synchro plays. And then, you know, obviously the reasons for having Dark Law are because the meta just uses a lot of graveyard shit and stuff like that. So Burning Abyss, it fucks people. So now we have 3 MST because just the meta right now and what people are running, you're gonna need that back row removal, especially in this deck, because this is just basically a combo based deck. So you're gonna need to get rid of that back row, because if they stop you from going off, then you're basically pretty screwed. So you need to make sure you're safe before you decide to make big plays. And then lastly, for spells, we have 3 Zombie World. And 3 Zombie World, I mean, I think it's a must to have 3, but I guess you could get away with 2. But basically, Zombie World, the main reason for having it in this deck with zombies now is because of Unizombie. So if you remember, I was saying that if you use Unizombie's effect during that turn, only zombie monsters can attack. So even if you do go off after using Unizombie's effect, you won't be able to attack unless you have Zombie World and all the cards on your field, or on either player's field, are zombie types. So yeah, basically this just lets you go off and then actually be able to attack. And then there's all sorts of other shenanigans you could pull off when you have Zombie World, like if you have a synchro from another play in your graveyard and you have a Mizuki in your graveyard, all monsters in your graveyard become zombies, so you can just Mizuki and summon that strong synchro that you had from earlier. And then we have the traps now, and basically I just run 3 traps, and they're basically just staples: Solemn, Compulse, and Bottomless. Alright, moving on to the extra deck. First off, I only have 1 level 10 synchro, which would be Leo. Leo's pretty great against Burning Abyss. Can't target it, and it's just a high beat stick. Yeah, basically with the level 4 tuner, Unizombie, and then you could banish Malicious and then special summon one from your deck, and then there you go, that's Leo. And yeah, it's just a really good card. Level 8 synchros. First off is Stardust Spark Dragon. I was thinking maybe I should replace it with Beals, but I decided against that just because Stardust Spark Dragon, you can protect other cards besides itself from being destroyed. So if you have another card you really need to protect, and it's vulnerable, you could use Stardust Spark Dragon. And then obviously we have Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon's just a great combo with either Spark Dragon or Beals, because you can use Spark Dragon's effect and target itself, so it won't be destroyed, and then you still get to destroy your opponent's card, and then you could do the same thing with Beals. Also, Scrap Dragon can, if you have a Goblin Zombie on your side of the field and you pop your Goblin Zombie and pop an opponent's card, you get Goblin Zombie Search, so that's pretty great. And then obviously we have Beals. And for rank 7s or level 7s, I have 1, and that would be Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon obviously nuke the field. It's basically it, and you would get that out with Unizombie again. if you have it at, if you just leave it at its regular level, which would be a level 3, and then any level 4. I have 2 level 6 synchros. I have Goyo Guardian, which is, Goyo Guardian. Obviously, you should know what that does by now. It's pretty much a staple if you can get them out in your deck. And then I have Revive King Hades. The reason I really like this card is because it's similar to Armades, just because, like, if you destroy a monster that has a card effect that activates when it goes to the graveyard, or when it's destroyed, it won't get its effect. So you could like Shaddolls, or, well, yeah, like Shaddolls, their flip effects. The flip effects won't go off, or Burning Abyss. You could run over like a face down Burning Abyss or something like that, and it won't get its effect. And that's it for the synchros. And the first Exceed would be Castel. These are basically just going to be staple XYZs. Obviously, Castel is pretty much in every deck that can make rank 4s. Lavolval Chain, obviously, you should have Lavolval Chain if you have a zombie deck. It gets your Malicious, Plague Spreader, Mizuki, whatever you need inside the graveyard. Abyss Dweller, just negate graveyard effects. That's what a lot of meta decks are using right now, is graveyard effects, so Abyss Dweller helps. Another staple, Arc. You could run another Castel instead of Arc if you want, but I find Arc to be really helpful, just because it not only can it get rid of a problem card, a problem monster that was special summoned, but you can detach afterward if it were to be destroyed. So it gives you that little bit of extra defense that Castel wouldn't give you, and it has that extra 100 attack. So that's my reasoning behind that. Then we have Exciton. Honestly, I don't go into Exciton that much, but it's a staple, and it's always good to have it if your back's against the wall and you have to nuke the field. I have Heartland Draco. I don't know. Honestly, I really like Heartland Draco, just because it helps a lot when you just have to take out those last few life points, and your opponent has like a strong monster. You can just attack directly and go for game. Yeah, and then that's it for Exceeds. And then the last 2 extra deck cards would be 2 Dark Law, and I explained that earlier. It's basically just banishes, and if your opponent searches, you could banish 1 random card from their hand. So it just really stops a lot of the meta, and any deck basically that uses its graveyard. And I actually do have a side deck for this, so I'll be doing that. First off, 2 Royal Command. It negates the activation and effects of all flip effect monsters. So obviously that would be Shaddolls, and this actually really helps out a lot, I find, when I do side it against Shaddolls. Yeah. Next we have Ojama Trio. Ojama Trio is just great against Burning Abyss, Clyfort, Shaddol, anything that just special summons a lot of monsters. It stops them from getting out as many monsters as maybe they could have, and then you get that extra burn damage when you destroy the tokens, and you're actually able to come back. And then 2 anti-spell fragrance for Clyforts and any other pendulum decks you might be facing. Basically, you have to set spell cards before you use them, but because pendulums can't be set, it basically just shuts out your opponent's ability to use pendulums at all until they get rid of anti-spell fragrance. Next we have Light Imprisoning Mirror for just Satellar Knights or Lightsworn or any light decks. It's just self-explanatory. Then I have Stygian Dirge, which is great for like any XYZ deck, or honestly it disrupts a lot of plays because it reduces your opponent's monsters levels by 1. So it's great against like Burning Abyss. So they have all their level 3 monsters, and let's say they have 2 level 3s, and you just flip Stygian Dirge. They can't go into Dante. They can't go into any of their extra deck cards. They can't even go into Virgil because it's a level 6, and it would be reduced to 2, unless they use 3 of their monsters. And then we have 3 Chain Disappearance again for Burning Abyss. Get rid of like their Dantes or their tour guides, anything that's 1,000 or less, and banishes them so they can't use it again. Chain Disappearance is really great if you can actually pull it off. And then lastly, I have Spell Shattering Arrow and Puppet Plant. I'm basically just trying to get another Puppet Plant. So I just put in the Spell Shattering Arrow for like Clyfort matchup, and the Puppet Plant is just basically good against anything with warriors or spellcasters, because you discard it and take control of it. A warrior or spellcaster type monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn. So Shadal, or you could take any of the boss monsters from Burning Abyss, like Dante is a warrior, and then Virgil is a spellcaster. So yeah, it really helps if you can take it for a turn and either make a synchro play or tribute or just go for game. But yeah, that's my zombie deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. Yeah, and just leave any comments if you have any suggestions. Subscribe, like the video, and thanks for watching. Bye.